For those who got into a healthy relationship after a toxic one, what surprised you the most about it? Especially for those who only had experience with toxic relationships at first. Being able to breathe. Not worrying about what I said or did. Feeling accepted and encouraged at once. Actual communication. My toxic ex never made me have sex when I didn't want to, but if I said no it was always an issue/argument and he always guilt-tripped me about it, sometimes for days at a time, and would bring it up the next time I said no to. Ironically, this made sex always feel pressured, so actually made me say no more, even if I was actually feeling it. The first time I said no to my current partner, an actually healthy relationship, he had a normal response of just okay, what film do you want to watch? I was overwhelmed that it didn't turn into an argument/guilt trip and started crying. I'd never realized how much it had affected me in my previous relationship. Maybe how unprepared I was to be happy. It's been 4 years in this relationship, and a fair bit more since I left the toxic one, and I still occasionally feel like something has to go wrong, or that I don't deserve this, or some other suspicion that this is wrong. Then there's the liberating feeling I got when I realized this person was being nice to me for my sake, and not so he'd be able to use it to manipulate me. I think it was just how bizarrely secure I felt about the other person. After spending so long battling my nerves every time my significant other disappeared, or trying not to react with paranoia and mistrust when I was being given reasons for both, it was nice to finally realize wasn't just acting crazy or overreacting. I was reacting perfectly logically to the way I was being treated. Being with someone who didn't treat me that way made me realize those weren't just my default responses. Actually getting a sincere apology and not an "I'm sorry, but you do this" or "I'm sorry, I'm such a bad person." I'll actually get an apology, they listen to me, and then they do feel bad, but then we move on and it doesn't happen again. That was one of the most shocking things for me. Wow, you're actually sorry? You aren't going to just do it again a week later? It was truly amazing. My boyfriend's, now husband's, emotional availability was a pleasant surprise. In fact, I was so unaccustomed to it at first that it actually gave me pause to continue dating. I had a tendency to date or be attracted to men who withheld their emotions and refrained sharing their personal experiences with me. The mystery was attractive at first but always bit me in the ass in the long run. I love that my husband has such a wide emotional vocabulary, and has done his own work on how to express his feelings in a healthy way. He also does a great job of encouraging me to feel okay in all my emotions, including anger and sadness. I knew he was a keeper when I shared something challenging with him and he said, "It's completely okay to feel that way." I felt that way too. I've never heard a man ever say me too, and it was actually a very healing experience to hear him not only validate my feelings, but recall his own experience of those emotions. I didn't realize you can become addicted to toxic relationships because of the ups/downs that produce a high/low feeling in the brain. When I finally got together with someone who was actually good for me, I found myself trying to sabotage the relationship by creating artificial problems since my brain was chasing that high of fighting and making up, and that's also what I had equated love with. That's why so many struggle to get out of toxic situations. They're literally just so addictive. I'm not with either of those men anymore. I'm with someone lovely now, but I have learned a lot about abusive and toxic behavior and try to be aware of my own self-sabotaging behaviors born out of trauma. It gave me a whole view of what narcs are like. They suck the energy out of you, bring you down and make you feel that their presence is essential for you to function. I was surprised that I could do things I never thought I could do to escape, and it really tested my strength. Surprised also that someone so loving exists and accepted me despite my past and never used anything he does for me as a leverage to control or harm me. That arguments don't have to be a power struggle. That you can show how you feel without having to worry about it being used against you. I remember walking on eggshells thinking he, my BF at the time, was gonna flip out over minor shit like my ex-husband. I broke something that was mine and not his, and no skin off his back, and yet was literally shaking preparing for my BF to lose it. He just shrugged and was like, "Well, let's go shopping, I'll help you pick out a new one. No biggie." OMG. I need to read more of these answers. It's like a life raft floating by. It was surprising to me that I wasn't in a constant state of crisis. I look back and recognize that we never could work on underlying issues because it was just crisis all the time. No wonder I felt crazy and exhausted all the time. There were loads of things that didn't even enter my mind until they happened. 1. My hair grew fast and thick after it falling out because of stress. 2. Receiving basic human decency and respect and being surprised by it. 3. Being able to breathe and not have panic attacks every day. 4. Actually wanting to go home from work. 5. Seeing my friends and not feeling scared of being accused of cheating when I got back. 6. Not being expected to do all of the cooking/cleaning and even have dinner made for me. 7. Wanting to spend time with my boyfriend and not feel the need to have someone else there so he can't scream at me. The list goes on, but in summary, it was coming up from the bottom of the ocean for air and a lifeboat is there waiting for me. I was surprised how good having a boyfriend felt and how it wasn't a burden anymore. I was surprised how much love and care he showed me after being used to being ignored and neglected. It was a whole new feeling and experience. It felt like actual love. Sex is fun and enjoyable. You don't get guilted into having it. Insert calculations. Lady meme. Being able to express issues within the relationship without fear of some sort of punishment or reverting back to the issue once they are confident you won't leave. They want to do things with you and will be polite and interact with your friends. They encourage you to have friends. Being encouraged when doing something, e.g. cooking. This is still a major hang-up for myself from my last relationship where everything I did was wrong and all I did was make a mess. 12 years of that really did a number on me. My current partner is an amazing cook and really enjoys it and has been so positive and gentle with me with trying to help me get back into cooking. Unfortunately, I now hate cooking and get very defensive when I do. I'm trying hard to work on that. Also, being praised is really weird. Being told I'm sexy, also weird. Realizing what it feels like to actually be loved by someone. How easy it is to resolve issues when you can actually voice your feelings and opinions without starting a fight. How awesome it is to be with someone who trusts you/you trust and can have separate lives without jealousy or suspicion. Being able to relax and realize that every time I bring up a concern I have, it isn't going to develop into a fight and stonewalling. Okay, I'll talk to you in a few days. Also, the absolute confusion I felt when my now fiancé would say, "You're right, I'm sorry." Hearing "I'm sorry" after a relationship with a toxic person is confusing, especially after 2 years of gaslighting. That it took me a while to accept it. Accept it in a "wow, this is actually real" way. I was so used to having to prove myself, and when I met my now husband, I didn't have to do that. It threw me off. He genuinely loved me for me and it was okay just being me. I was enough. I was enough when expressing how I felt about things, sharing my opinions, saying I'm not in the mood for sex, voicing concerns, etc. I felt really seen for the first time and I think it felt really vulnerable for me. I kept being accepted and kept heard. Gosh, I love that man. That even though we're having heaps of fun with laughter and joy, healthy can feel boring. There isn't the chaos of the dramatic ups and downs, so the stability can be uncomfortable and take some getting used to. It's been an interesting, but beautiful journey. I've been with my new healthy dude for 5 months, and I still feel uncomfortable calling him my boyfriend. Why? Because this healthy relationship doesn't feel anything at all like my last toxic one, that it doesn't even feel like a relationship. I can talk to my friends and not have to answer him. I can go and do my own things, have actual conversations and not worry he's lying or that he's going to hurt me. I feel 100% free and single because I'm not tied down, but that we're in a relationship. That the person you're in a relationship with should actually want to spend time with you and enjoy being around you. With my ex, he always made me feel like any time we spent together he was doing me favor. I always had to ask him, even for something as simple as come and watch TV with me. Then I would always be made to feel like he'd rather just be by himself and it was a bit of a chore to hang out with me. My husband never makes me feel that way. He still likes to have time to himself to pursue his own interests, as everyone in a healthy relationship should, but after a while will make a point of seeking me out. Also, if we've had a busy few days where we haven't seen each other because of work, etc., he will make a point of asking to do something with me the next time we're both free. It's unbelievable how much it does for your self-esteem to actually just feel wanted and that your company is valued. That I was the toxic one. My current boyfriend, 4 years strong, held me accountable and showed me that my emotions are my responsibility and that I can't make my issues everyone's issues. He helped me through a lot of trauma without enabling me to feel stronger and more empowered. I still have my strong emotions, but I know they aren't his burden and I have to be able to cope. And he never forced me or was mean or condescending about it. He worked to understand me and recognized what I needed was boundaries, and it really helped. Neither of us is perfect, but man oh man, are we stable and so happy. I of him so much. And I know he loves me. It makes all the difference.